So, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Anchi, and this is our equilibrium class. So today we're going to start out by working on improving the engagement of the intrinsic foot muscles, and also this will help to improve our arches, especially if they're collapsed. So first thing that we're going to do is actually, it's helpful to get it before and after, so you can go ahead, if you're sitting, go ahead and just, shift forward and stand. And just take a normal stance and feel how your feet contact the earth. And notice the space where your inner arch is, and just kind of get a sense for the height of that arch right now. Okay, and you can even kind of, walk around and just feel how your feet contact your floor right now. And then we are going to come down, so you can take that squat down and go slow into your chair so that you have to engage the legs. Okay. So if you can rest your outer ankle bone on your thigh. So you can take your right leg up first if you need to prop, on ottomans, whatever you need to be able to touch this foot. Okay. First action that we're going to do is we're going to create space in the bones by literally elongating, pulling on the toes and making circles. And you want to place your right hand right at the base of your big toe bone, and then you're going to take your left hand and you're going to pull your big toe, and you're creating joint space there, and then make circles. 8 circles with this big toe going in one direction. And as you move, you might notice how it moves the bone all the way to where you're holding with your right hand, how it starts to mobilize into the phalanges, the metatarsals, all the way upstream through the rest of the foot. And then go in the other direction about 8 times in the circle, and keep elongating that toe as you circulate it, as you move it in a circle. Okay, and then we're just going to do that for all the other 4 here. And so just kind of look where that bone runs down towards the pad of your foot, and try to just squeeze that, and then pull from the front of the toe, create joint space, and make circles. And you're going to crash into the other toes. That's okay. And then notice how you can feel that movement all the way down into the flesh of the foot. So you're mobilizing all the way down that foot. And go in the other direction as well. So I learned this from a PT who specializes in working with runners. And this is one of the signature things that she teaches them in order to keep their feet healthy. Good. And then you can keep moving. So grab the middle toe, pull, create joint space, and then move it in a circle. And then obviously, we have different things going on with our feet. So you just want to work at a comfortable edge. You don't want to, if it's super painful for whatever reason, lessen the pull, lessen the size of the circle. About 8 times going one way, 8 times going the other way. And thus, you might notice there's a lot of movement around the arch. Okay, so it starts to free up some of the restrictions that happen with our joints here, because, we shove our feet into little boxes all day long. Okay, so get the 4th toe. And again, create a joint space by, so you're not just making a circle, but you're kind of pulling the toe a little bit longer. And go in the other direction with your toe circle. Yeah, so if you're joining us, we are working on improving our arches, our feet, with a couple of moves to strengthen the feet. Okay, and then so we're pulling our toes and moving them in a circle right now. And get to the little guy, the fifth one.
Okay, I'll talk to you later.
Go ahead, I'll hit mute all. So, okay, so hopefully you hit all 5 toes there. And then last move here is we are going to strengthen this particular joint. So right at the transverse arch here, it's this hinge joint. It's like the second knuckle of your phalanges, which are these bones here. And this capacity to move in this particular joint is really vital for our gait. We have to be able to bend there in order to push off when we walk. And so if that joint gets locked down, it's going to limit like how we walk, and obviously it's going to affect our balance. So we want to start to mobilize this joint right here in the ball of your foot. So right where you had your fingers when you were holding to make a circle, see if you can create flexion here. So it's hinging forward and then it's going back. Okay, so we're going to work again at each toe. So big toe, forward and back. Let me see if I can move closer. So you can see my foot. Okay, so I gotta make sure I'm on both cameras. So right at this particular angle, and so I'm kind of hinging it so the big toe is going forward and then I'm extending it. And so you just want to mobilize that back and forth, 5 to 10 times. If you have more time, it's great to do more because it really, really helps. Okay, and then you just move to the next toe and then you try to flex and then you try to extend. Get that joint to move. And that's our push off. So that's part of the power of our gait, the way that weight transfers and then it pushes off from there. And then again, every joint needs to be able to move. So get it in the middle toe, in your fourth toe. So it's like a little flipper in your foot. Okay, and then as you pull it forwards, you might become aware of those muscles there, those intrinsic muscles shortening. So that's the engagement that helps to strengthen the arch. Okay, so once you've done that little rocking forward, rocking back action on all 5, see if you can find that intrinsic engagement right here. So you're creating like a mini arch. And it's hard to, because we tend to start from the toes and the toes curl in, but we really want to feel it right here with the muscles, right, pulling here, yeah? And then you can release, and then you can kind of like point like that, and release, point, I'll move back, point, and release, but you can have the foot down low. So, and then release, so engage those intrinsic muscles right there in the foot. So it feels like your arch is lifting, and then you're releasing. Good. And then land with this right foot down. Shift to weight forward, root down and rise up. Stand and just feel the arch space, the foot space on this side versus the other side. And just, noticing, what's different. just kind of, you can take a walk around, see if you notice any difference in the push off from one side to the other. Okay, and then we'll do that chair squat to come down, and we get the second side. All right, so let's just go faster here. Okay, so you're going to, again, hold here, pull the big toe, make circles. Go in the other direction. Okay, and then keep migrating to the next one about, and it's actually more effective if you go a little more slowly, but you know, just I want us to be able to have time for the other movements as well. So when you try it again, you can try slowing down. Reverse your circles about 8 times. And then middle toe. And they crash into each other, and it's okay. Good. Keep basically articulating, creating joint space, movement in your toe bones. And then get the last one, the little pinky. Good. And then we are coming into that second knuckle of our phalanges and getting movement there. So that flipper action. So you can put your fingers and just bend that joint so the toe goes forward, and extend that joint so the toe leans back. Okay, so get a little more movement into that joint at the transverse arch. And then go to the next toe and the next. And you might notice maybe there's a difference between the toes. Some of them might move better than others. And then as you do that, you're gonna feel how the muscles here shorten when the foot goes, you know, this way. So begin to connect with those intrinsic muscles and then contract them so it feels like your arch is doming a little bit more. And then release that contraction. And so you could do it now with the feet down. So dome your arch and then release. Dome and release. So strengthening that intrinsic, those foot muscles there. Good. And then land, shift your weight and rise up one more time. And just check in with your feet. Notice how your toes feel, how your arch feel, how the contact of the floor is now. And we will now face the chair, and we're going to warm up by doing the vinyasa and stretching our back and our hamstrings first. Okay. So you can have your hips to the chair, hinge forward, land with your hands, and lots of options. You can grip if that works for your chair. You can put your hands there. You can put your blocks if your chair is super soft. So make your hands and your wrists comfortable. And then bend your knees and take your hips back. And you might have to move a little bit further away. And it's kind of like a downward dog with not a lot of load in the hands. So nice stretch through your back. And breathe into here. And you can even kind of like wag your tail side to side here. Okay. And then try to straighten your legs. So now you get the stretch through those hamstrings, those calves. Press the base of your big toes down as you straighten your legs. And then bend your knees again and pull your hips back. and then push down through the ball of your big toe mound and lift your hips up and straighten your legs. Okay, so bending and then extending through the legs with energy into the feet. And then last piece, as you go up, internally rotate your thigh muscles and externally rotate through your glutes. And that's going to deepen that stretch. And then a few more times, your pace. Bend the knees, root down through the mound, the base of your big toe, straighten your legs, internally rotate your thighs, externally rotate your glutes. Good. Okay, one more time. Squat dog to regular dog with the legs straight. Okay, and then squat down again. And go ahead and shift forward and find a plank position. Yeah. And then shift back, find your squat. And you can maybe move your hips side to side, stretch through the side body, and then explore. Forward on your exhale. The tendency, so if you're doing this with your hips back like this, you might not feel a lot of core work. So if that's you, take your hips forward, and then some of us might do this, and we might feel a lot of jamming in the low back, and that's because the hips are too far down, okay? So try to keep it more in line, the hip in line with the shoulder and the ankles. Good. And we're going to start to progress this by, we'll start with that tap. So you can pull your right knee forward as you go forward, and you can aim it towards your elbow, and you want to look down as you do this. And then you step it back and you find your squat dog. Shift, left knee forward, looking down, and then slowly stepping back, find your squat. And your shift forward might be somewhere in between. So, you aim for that to work your abdominals, but you explore that shape for your body, okay? And keep looking down, because when you look up like this, it's gonna make it a lot harder and it'll strain your neck. Good. And then we progress again. So you can go forward and then kick the foot out and land, and then extend your spine. Look down, let your spine flex, step back, squat your dog, pull forward, try to tap, and then land your foot, and then lengthen your spine by looking forward. Yeah, and then step back. So now, squat dog to lunge. Good. Okay, so step forward with your right foot when you get there. And we're going to shift the weight into the feet, and we're going to shake the arms out, get a little more freedom in the upper body. Maybe, all that holding of the chair, we want to release any tension. So shake it out through the shoulders, through the wrists. You can make circles. Yeah. Good. And then we'll do a little shoulder range of motion on the right arm. Okay, so we're going to do it without the block first. So you can pretend like you're holding your palms up, holding something, and you're swiveling it out to the side, lifting it up. I'm going to change the angle here. Lifting it up, and then turning the toes with the fingers over to the other side, and then cut it back out.
A video went out.
Oh, the video went out?
How do I get back in?
You have to click on, so you can't see me. I'm not sure how, Angela. You might have gone to another screen, so you could Alt tab to find me, or you might have to sign back in. But you're on. It's just that you've lost the video, but I can hear you.
Yes. Okay, let me just try to sign back in.
Okay. All right. So swivel out, lift out, and up. Bend your wrist. Turn your fingertips to this side, and then cut out like this, and then pull back to the starting position. Okay, you can add load, put your block, swivel out, lift up, and so you have to bend your wrist or else the block falls down, yeah, and then swivel your fingertips to this side, so now the shoulder is an internal rotation, and then you have to do a little body English. And then you bend the elbow and you pull the block in towards your body. Okay, let's try that one more time in this direction. Lift up, bend at the wrist, swivel, and karate chop, and pull, and then we reverse. Take it in towards your body, swivel out of the way. You're in internal rotation here, and then you have to lift up, and then you have to point the fingertips over this way. And then you lower, and then you bend the elbow, and you're back at the starting position. Okay, so try, explore. You're creating, like a spiral motion through your shoulder. Okay, one more time. Nice. And then you can lay that block down, lift up again. You might notice a difference between the shoulders. Okay, and then so you're still at your chair, and you step back, you find your squat, and you can stay here if you want to take a passive stretch. You can go back to plank and squat. So we're just gonna listen to our bodies. Like, how do we want to stretch the back out here? Do we want to take a passive stretch? Do we want to move a little bit dynamically forward and back? And then you remember the progression. You can add in a little more complexity. You can pull knee to same side elbow. And you can exhale as you do that, because that's going to make it more powerful, more easy, because that works in synchronicity with your deep inner core. And then you can step the feet out and lunge, step back, step forward, look forward. Go at your pace. So nice, steady pace. And see if you can still breathe through your nose. Okay, so breathe through your nose. Good, and then we're gonna meet with left foot forward. Shift the weight all into the feet. Rise up into your lunge on this side. And then it's gonna be your left hand that is moving, and I'm not mirroring, so I'm actually doing the same side you are. So I'm just turning out so that you can see a little bit more easily. And then you can start with the elbow bent, palm up, swivel out, extend that arm, lift the arm, get the wrists moving, turn the fingertips to this side, and then karate chop in the air with the palm up. And then bend that elbow and pull it back with a hand forward. Good. Okay. Swivel, extend, lift up, turn, karate chop, bend that elbow, pull the hand forward again. Okay, and then add load if you You can hold a weight, you can hold a block. Swivel, extend up, turn so that the fingertips face the other way, and then karate chop, and then pull back towards your body and towards the front. Okay. Explore. This arm is a little weaker for me than my right arm. And so, you know, the further we extend the arm out, it's going to be more work, right? So you can adjust as you need to. Woo! Almost dropped it. Okay, and then reverse your circle or shoulder spiral. So you pull in and then take it back behind you and then out to the side, so you're in internal rotation. And then you have to explore lifting up. It's a little harder. And then turn your wrists, your fingertips, point them out, and then open out, and then bend the elbow. Yeah. Turn, lift up. It's a little hard here on that tricep. And then over the head, swivel, fingertips point that way. Keep the arm strong, hug the shoulder blade in, lower, bend that elbow. Okay, one more time. Shoulder spirals. Good. And then you can softly lower the block so you're still at the chair. Find that squat again. And then this time when you step forward with your right foot, lower that left knee down. So this is that split squat, and this is where you might pad your knees if you like. Okay, so split squat, and then lift up. Shift your weight so it's mostly in your feet, and lower down. Exhale up, inhale down. Exhale, inhale. Okay. Lift up on the exhale. Remember that foot on the front foot. Can you push the big toe down and lift the arch as you lift up and lower down? Yeah. So a lot of work on those thighs. Good. And then next time when you come down, we'll lift up into a yoga-ish pose. Low lunge. Grab a hold of your left wrist. Squeeze your outer hips together and explore leaning over to the right side. Good. And then come back with your body back in center. Hands on your chair. Push down through the base of your big toe on the front foot. Exhale, lift up, step back, squat dog. And let's straighten the legs here and just move the hips a little bit side to side. Okay, and then bend the knees again. Step the left foot forward, lower that right knee down. And you might have to adjust. So, you know, if the knee and the front foot are too far apart, that makes it really hard. So get it so that the feet, the front foot and the back knee are more, you know, in line with your hip sockets. And that will give you more strength in the push-up, right? So not too wide apart, more in line with our joints. And then exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. So progression, right, is you can skip the chair, you can just use your legs. You work at your level. Another, right, so we could have a little more support in the back knee. You can put a soft block there, and that way we don't go down as low. So you find your edge. Good. And then we're going to meet down, come up through that Anjani Asana shape. Grab a hold of your right wrist. To be stable, you have to squeeze your outer hips together as you lean over to the left. Breathe into your side ribs here. And then come out, neutral spine, hands back on the chair. Shift and then lift up again, step back, squat. And then your choice, you can either hop forward, make sure you don't crash into the chair, or you can step forward. So you can hop lightly, come up to standing. Good. Take a pause and just check in with yourself, check in with your heart space, your breath space. So we're gonna build on, so that was a split squat, and then we're gonna come into something called a half primal squat. So still in that same relationship with the chair, you might use a block here so you can have it handy in case you want it, okay? So I'm gonna move so you can see my feet better. So again, we want to work on our ability, with balance is also about having the strength, the agility to get up and down from the floor. So come back to your forward fold. Come back to your plank, your squat. This time to challenge the core at a different angle. You can pull your right knee and cross it over and tap your left elbow. Make sure your chair is steady. Step back, cross, opposite knee to opposite elbow, so the obliques turn on. And you can progress it by hanging out there in that twist, holding it for, couple of seconds to feel all that work. Exhale forward to use that intrinsic coordination between diaphragm and core. Good. Next time, when it's time to move your right leg, move it towards the right elbow instead, and then step back into the lunge shape. And then this time, you're coming back down into the split squat, and then swivel. So you can swivel your left foot in closer towards your bum, and then you sit down into what's called a half primal squat. And you could use your block here to have a little higher setting. So right leg is in a lunge shape, left leg is kind of like in a kneeling shape, okay? And we can use the chair, we're gonna push up and rise up, and then we're gonna lower down. Rise up, lower down. So this really works pelvic floor, exhale up, the glutes, the hips, inhale down. Okay, few more rounds. Good. The next time when you are up, take your left hand, lower it towards the floor, and then kick out your right leg, and then you're in what's called a side bend gate pose. So you're lengthening through the whole right side of your body. So looks like this. And then to come back out, go ahead and take that right foot into the lunge, come back to your half primal, hands back on the chair, lift your hips up, reposition your back leg so that it's in the split squat again. So knee right underneath your hip, foot in line with your knee, not swiveled over anymore. This is going to make it easier to rise up, okay? And then push back up, step back. You pick how you want to stretch your back out here. Could be static, could be dynamic. Another version could be the legs straight and you're just kind of rocking side to side. So what feels good for you? Good. And then eventually do come towards that plank and that squat because it builds core stability, core strength. And then move into the twist again, adding in a different way of engaging your core with a little rotation. So knee to opposite elbow. Build a little heat. Exhale as you go forward. Inhale as you go back. Keep the breath through your nostril as well if you can. Nice. Okay. And then next time when it's the left leg's turn to move, just move it towards the same side elbow. Step down. And then lower that right knee down. So right now, foot is in line with knee, so that's the split squat. To come to the half primal, you have to swivel the foot towards your bum a little bit more, and then you can sit down. And of course, if it doesn't work for your body, you might prop yourself up, or you might just go down half of the way. Okay, so just work in this shape in whatever way works for your body. And then we rise up, and we lower down into the squat. Exhale, we rise up. Inhale, we come down. Your choice, chair support to share the load between the legs and the hands. No chair support if your knees are okay with that load. Good. So about 10 times up and down. It's a great way to strengthen the pelvic floor through these squats. Okay, so you want to exhale up, inhale down. And then next time when you come up, we're going to take the right hand towards the floor, maybe the block, and then we'll kick out the left leg. And then you're stretching through the whole side of your body. Breathing into the rib basket here. Good. And then to come out, just take that left foot back into the lunge, sit on back, and then swivel the right foot back so it's in line with the knee. Position the left foot, so just position yourself so you have power to come up. And then come up and step back. Good. From here, again, you can shift into the plank and step forward. You can also hop forward. And we'll shift into a little squat, and then we'll rise up. Good. So just noticing how your feet are touching the floor now, how your body is breathing. Okay, one more hip thing and then we get to rest. Okay, so we'll use the chair again, and it works the outer upper corner of our hip a little bit more than some other variations. So we'll find that work in that glute med. It's going to be abduction and a little kick. Okay, so hinge forward, come down. We'll start with just some gentle circling first. So shift your weight into your left leg and bend your right knee. Okay, and when you do that, can you sense how this draws your belly in? So we want to feel that quality of stability with the belly hugging in. And then just pull that thigh forward, open it out, and turn it in. So you're just making little circles. start out with little circles here. 3 times, one way, 3 times the other way. And then come back to the starting position with a knee bent. And then lift it out to the side, but forward a little bit. And then kick. And then bend, lower it down. Lift it out to the side a little bit, more laterally. And then explore kicking as much as you can. Or at, whatever it is that you can do. Take it back. Lift it out to the side more. Explore kicking, bending, and returning. Lift it out and keep changing where you lift it out to. So it's kind of like a clock. You're just trying to move around towards the back. And then towards the back more. Kick and control that descent. And then eventually, you're kicking straight back. Yeah? And you can stay here. Squeeze your bum and kick, 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 kick. One more time. And then lower that right foot. Shift your weight into your feet. Elbows on your thighs. Rise up. Air squats. 5 times. Good. And then stay in your squat. Reach out. Come back onto the chair with your hands. Second side. Shift the weight towards your right leg. You might have to shimmy around a little bit to get ankles roughly under hips. Bend that left knee. Hover. See if you can feel your belly turn on. Explore circumduction here. 3 times. Going one way, and especially feel that upper outer corner of your range, and then reverse. Good. And then we'll do that kick out. So you start with the thigh forward, lift it out to the side, but more forward, and extend that knee in whatever way you can. Pull it back with control. Open it out a little bit more laterally. Explore extending. And explore coming back with control. Coming out a little bit more laterally and towards the back. Every time. Whew, that back corner is brutal. Good, and then eventually you're kicking straight back behind you. And squeeze your booty and lift that leg up and down. Pulsing about 3 times. Okay? And then lower it back down. Shift your weight into your feet. Elbows on your thighs. Push. And squat. Push. Up. Squat. Down. Keep your neck neutral. And we'll rise back up. Hand on the heart, hand on the belly. Feel your feet, feel your legs. Feel the quality of your whole system now after all of those movements through the hips, through the legs. And we'll come back and you can find your squat back into your chair. Ooh. Okay. And we're going to do a little tapping on the thighs, around the knees. So this is our cool down as a way to just work out any tension that may have accumulated in the joints as we worked. So we all have different patterns with how we mobilize, and you know, as we exercise and move, we want to be able to break apart some of those habitual places of tension. We don't want to build tension. So tap, squeeze, rub, releasing any accumulated tension through your legs. Okay, and then same thing, thigh, and then definitely focus around the knee as you rub and pat and squeeze. So releasing any accumulated tension as you worked through all those squats. Go down into your calves. And you can rub around the ankles as well. And then you can extend the leg and put the heels down so that you can make circles from your ankles. Okay. And then go in the other direction. Okay. And we'll plant the feet down, have the feet wide, and do your hip circles. Shift weight through your sit bones and feel how that movement radiates up your spine, into your neck, into the base of your skull. And then also notice how it shifts weight through your feet. And, you know, activate that work in the feet as well. The whole body is being moved here in different ways. So exploring. And then reversing those hip circles. Neutral neck as you move. So not too short in the front, in the back, not too short in the front. Okay. And then next time when you drift forward, you can place the heel of your hands on your thighs. And you can push more through the right and draw that right shoulder forward and twist to the left. And then you push more through the left, pull the left shoulder forward and look to the right. And push down through that left foot as well. Okay, so little shrug twist. And it mobilizes the middle back, the shoulder, the neck. And you can, you know, do that move dynamically. Good. We'll slowly come out. Good. And last movements here is for the shoulders. We'll do shoulder circles here. So circumduction. And then go in the other direction with your shoulder circles. And next time your arms come down, spin your arms externally. Press, pull your arms into the body and depress the scapula. So engaging, so all the muscles that we tend to not engage because we tend to do things mostly in this shoulder position. So we're just getting a counter pose with external rotation and depression, hugging those scapula in and down. And then also pull from the back of your arms, pull it into your body. So work those triceps. And then breathing into your ribs here. Inhaling, expanding the sides of the ribs. And then exhale, feel your belly draw in and lengthen from your low back all the way up. One more time. Wow, it's a lot of work on those shoulders. Okay, inhaling and exhaling. And then you can release all that active work through the shoulders. And just let your breath settle into its natural shape, but keep the breath through your nostrils unless they're completely clogged up. And come back to the awareness of your feet on the floor, the awareness of the inner arch, even the side arch, that lateral arch, just sensing your feet on the floor and the contact point of your feet there. And imagine your feet breathing with your diaphragm. So, you know, when you watch a sleeping baby, you might be able to see that quality of their whole being expanding and contracting with the breath. And you might even see that quality of expansion, you know, through the soles of their feet. So, see if you can connect with that pulsation of your breath down into your feet, quality of expansion as you inhale, quality of contraction as you exhale. And just keep resting your attention into this touch point, into this grounded place where you're being supported by the earth, where you're connected to your foundation. And then obviously when we sit, the weight is also transferring through the sit bones. So also noticing the sit bones here, noticing the full extent of the thighs, the lower legs, the feet. So the whole root system of your body. Can you stay connected, feeling this lower body, and then imagining your inhale moving down all the way into your lower body. And then drawing your attention up on the exhale. When you rest your attention into your feet, into your legs, and into your breath, notice how it feels for your nervous system. And remember how this awareness is a resource that you can rest back into throughout your day. So just taking a few breaths, just resting back, feeling the support of your legs, your feet, your hips, feeling this nurturance of your breath. Thank you everybody for joining me for Equilibrium, and we have a moment where we can also connect with each other